Hello and welcome to LedgerCast. My name is Brian Krogsgaard here with Josh Bullswitch. Hey Josh, how you doing?
Brian, mister, how are you?
I'm doing well and it's great to see you. The trend is a flipping.
It certainly would appears, though, that is happening. I think the big, crypto's been bullish for, let's say, 20 days. Definitively bullish. Obviously, it's been up over the past month. But when it completed the W at the bottom, that was good enough for me.
Good enough for me.
But the most important part is S&P, I think. Because that was like range trading, and now it's off to the races by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks good.
To me, it looks like it's retesting the breakout.
Making a higher high.
Yeah, I mean, it made a higher high. Now it's making it's retesting that horizontal, but it absorbed the Powell meeting. It absorbed jobs today. It absorbed BOE, ECB announcements. DXY up a little bit on the jobs news with the assumption that the Fed's going to keep hiking for longer or pause for longer, whatever, however you want to think about that. Bond market's a little volatile today on those jobs numbers. When you dig into the jobs numbers, though, they're mostly part-time.
Can you explain what happened with the jobs numbers? Because it was like 3 times the estimate or something, right?
Yeah, it was way above estimates. I think estimate was 196, and the final number was over 500,000 added. Based on what I saw, most of those are part-time, if not all of those are part-time. So very few full-time jobs.
That's not actually services. I like how it might be bullish in the stock market if it's not that optimistic for real humans, because they just are getting a side hustle to pay their bills. So the economy is not that great. Everything's so expensive for them. They got to get second jobs.
So if anything, it tells you that the markets clearly have the Fed in mind, first and foremost, when thinking about any number that comes out. The second thing is, when you look at these numbers, they're depending on your viewpoint, how you want to spin it. You could say, this is great, we added a bunch of jobs. You could say, this is horrible, we added almost no full-time jobs. You could say, if you look at the two-person, if you look at what is the metric? It's like how many people have 2 jobs or more. Like that metric is probably continuing to rise. So that just says like people can't find quality jobs to support cost of living. Depending on how you want to spin it, Biden was on TV saying, this is amazing, everything's great.
Of course he was. It's got a little bit of an impact on rates, and in a silo, you'd say the rates should be bouncing here, but 200-day moving average, horizontal level, maybe some kind of wedge. So rates potentially move up more, not because just the continued 25-point increases, but also because fear of additional inflation from those jobs. So maybe a little bit of increase there is not overly affecting the market. The market's down less than 1% on the day. Crypto's acting outside of that market, which is interesting. It is affecting gold a little bit, which has dumped 2.5% on the day. Fear of real rates, maybe at resistance, maybe, I don't know what to make of that.
Oil chart.
Yeah, oil down 3%. Oil's still looking fairly weak. A lot of mixed signals. Dollar up, Dixie up 1.1%. Again, like we talked about last week, a very respectable place to retest from, right? Like to bounce a little bit.
I mean, realistically, this thing's been oversold for a while, and it's down X percentage from the top, right? It's bound to bounce in range a little bit. I think the general trend, though, is going to be a path to 90 over the next 2 years. So that's not exactly exciting to talk about from a week-to-week perspective, but go ahead.
And crypto mostly shrugging it off.
Yeah, crypto, we were down a little bit overnight. We were down on the jobs numbers. Chart looks fine-ish. I don't like that we're rising on lower volume. lower RSI. That's certainly not bullish like in a super ultra near term, because that is a bearish divergence. So a bit of a TKC clamp building there on the daily. A retest of the 200 wouldn't be out of question, which is around 20K on BTC, 200-day moving average. I don't think there's much to do here, though, on Bitcoin or ETH, really, as far as like positioning-wise, from a like objective perspective.
Yeah, it's a reasonable place of resistance on the 200-week moving average as well for Bitcoin, but it's not all the way there. If you want like an actual tag of the previous highs from August, that'd be closer to 25K. The 200 is still moving up a little bit. It might get to 25K next week. So I don't know. Maybe you tap up there and then spin around. But I'm kind of expecting a little bit of sideways for Bitcoin. We're seeing the market maybe pricing that a bit too. If you look over here on my watch list, Bitcoin and ETH just kind of doing their thing, but down the list, mostly green altcoins. Are people transitioning their risk profile?
I don't think so. I just think some of the Aptos money is rolling into the market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's fine if BTC relaxes through February. I mean, it's only the 3rd. It's got 27 days or whatever is a long time. But
ETH BTC continues to say, I want to stay in this range. This is a terrible chart. Like, it's such a good chart, but it's also terrifying. Like, how do you trade that? I don't.
Yeah, I don't think realistically you can. I think you have a viewpoint on direction, but it's very hard to trade that realistically. ETH did push the disinflation or deflation, however you want to think about that, to its greatest point over the past week. It's now at like 0.017% negative. So, I mean, it's going to take time. It takes the halving on Bitcoin to take 6 to 12 months to kick in. So we have until like September. If ETH is flat in September this year, then you might say, well, this might not have had the effect that we thought it was, but it's got plenty of time.
I mean, this is pretty bullish ETH, right? It's deflationary, even though the market's still pretty like meh.
Well, if you're bullish Bitcoin on the halving idea, right, you can't ignore this and think, yeah, this is just like whatever, nothing. Obviously, ETH and BTC are fundamentally different in many, many ways, but
3,000 ETH burned in a day.
At some point, when this market turns up, ETH will do well. brave call, yeah. I know. Brave call. Yeah, it depends when Shanghai comes too. If Shanghai is March, Shanghai September, if and when the withdrawals happen, there's a lot of unknowns there generally.
Yeah.
I don't think the unlock's going to be crazy bearish in the near term for that, but you can hedge on Lido, right? Or not Lido. You can hedge with liquid derivatives if you really wanted to on your large bags of ETH stake. So I don't know realistically like how bearish that's going to be.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I got a little nervous this was going to break down last week at the bottom.
Oh, ye of little faith.
I mean, this level, you kind of look at it like 0.065, like it kind of, if it breaks it down, it could pierce down pretty deep, like you could lose on a relative basis 10% plus, probably in addition to the market dumping as well. So, your ETH bags could get a 20% haircut pretty quick in a relative breakdown trade.
Yeah, but it's also better for the ecosystem if BTC leads.
Sure.
It's better that the meme garbage isn't leading. ETH is somewhat involved in that.
I was say, is ETH meme garbage? Come on, what kind of hate is this?
It kind of is. NFTs are kind of meme garbage.
Bitcoin has NFTs now. Thank you for feeding me. Just feeding me this softball. What do you think? Udi minted the largest block ever, or helped produce the largest block ever. Did you see this?
I did. I think it's interesting that we're playing games with block size again. I don't have any feelings one way or the other. NFTs have never been for me, so it is what it is.
I like that Udi is doing it. I just want Udi to be the main character.
The main villain.
The main villain, the one that both like ETH people and Bitcoin people are just like, oh, that guy. Meanwhile, he's like the nicest person ever. If you ever hang out with him in real life or even on a Zoom like we're on.
Have you seen any ordinals like change hands as far as like price wise?
No, I know nothing about ordinals. We don't support the Bitcoin chain on Flip, so don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Wow. How dare us.
Somebody on Dune.
What do? Get price updates every 45 minutes when a new block is.
Whoa. Somebody on Dune put together a dashboard, and it looks like somewhere between like 1,200 and 1,500 have been minted, or ordinals. I think it's a fad. This is never gonna last, right?
Oh,
famous last words.
Make me bullish.
I don't know who's getting excited about minting NFTs on Bitcoin. I think it's too difficult right now.
Well, that might be why there's opportunity.
Yeah, of course there's opportunity, but I don't think the Bitcoin crowd is an NFT crowd, you know? In general.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
We'll see what happens in the next bull run if some project gets big on Bitcoin ordinals, you know? It's a weird word. It's difficult. It's just not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
You're really making me want to buy an ordinal. I don't even know how. How much they cost? Where do they trade?
I literally know nothing about.
I should know these things. I run an NFT company.
I know nothing about any of that process regarding ordinals. I just know that they're being minted. That's pretty much it.
Gotcha. All right. There's alpha here.
There's alpha on ordinals. Ordinal alpha.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are we waiting for? What's next? And what should we be thinking about? No pressure.
I think we should be watching for the bear div to play out. We should be watching for any pullbacks. You know, ETH's got 5 or 6 levels directly below price, around 1,500. As far as the pullback is concerned, where to look for support.
Like on a 4-hour type time frame?
It's got daily. The 50 daily, the 200 daily, the 200 week, the 2018 all-time high, the daily cloud. If it's below 1,200, then we're in trouble, but I really don't see that in the near term.
Yeah, seems like it'd probably be several dip areas worth buying, but I mean, it might just be breaking out of some consolidation to the upside.
Yeah, I was looking at this compared to the 2020 Bitcoin halving. 2021. When was that halving?
2020.
Yeah, 2020. Where we had that structure that was kind of similar to this, where we never quite got the right shoulder on the inverted head shoulders.
This thing?
Yeah, exactly. We could have something like that on ETH here. I don't know. Just looking for stuff, but I don't know. Like, what else do we have left? Like regulations coming our way? Sure. Is another exchange going to blow up? I don't know.
Hope not.
If Binance is probably the only one that if it blew up, we'd be in trouble.
I was about to say, Binance would be like pretty hardcore.
I don't know any information.
That would be very bad.
I don't have any feelings on that one way or the other. I'm just like thinking,
Binance or Coinbase would be the only exchanges blowing up that would actually have like a really, really severe negative impact.
Yeah. In the near term, anyway.
Like
look at FTX. FTX is like the second largest exchange, blew up, and we're already back above those prices.
Show me on the chart where FTX blew up.
Exactly.
It's right there.
You can't even see it. You have to squint.
Yeah. In the scheme of things, it wasn't called. It's not in this drawdown. That's not your FTX. You'd think FTX failed right here, and then this happened, but no, it was.
Well, right that's here. When the failure was revealed. But the truth is, it was failing for years.
Fair. Oh, we got to ask a good question. Look at the coin chart. Tell me what you think about the coin chart. Coinbase setting in of an omega bottom in the low 30s.
Would love to see inverted head and shoulders on that over multi-month period.
Ooh, that's spicy. Cleared its 200-day moving average. I mean, this is a trend shift.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they dodged the lawsuit. That isn't to say there aren't more lawsuits coming, but that's why this week they're up quite a bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this got back over 100 before it really met significant resistance.
The crypto stocks in general have done very well since the beginning of the year. Even MSTR has done extremely well.
I don't even know that I have MSTR on my watch list. I have Galaxy. That's kind of meh.
But overall, things look good, you know?
Yeah.
Certainly different than 2022.
A lot different than 2022. I mean, the S&P still looks quite good to me. I mean, it could draw down. That's not what I mean. Like, it could go down several %, and that's not what I mean. It's just, it doesn't look like something that's ready to go into, price discovery in the negative. Like, this looks like plenty of places where it could find support. The NASDAQ found a nice jump above its 200-week moving average, higher high. Looks like the Qs might want to go all the way to 330, which would indicate, what, another 7-8% of upside to reach an equal high. I think we'll have more volatility on the course of the year, but these indexes look pretty nice. The Dow Jones hovering flat.
I mean, that thing looks ready to go.
Yeah, it looks like its next step is basically, hey, I'm going to go another 10% and be basically at all-time highs for these 20-something companies that actually have business models.
Yeah, I think the next thing to watch is CPI, which is Valentine's Day.
Which I mean, Jay Powell's stuff basically was a non-event, even though he said expect multiple months worth of 25-point increases.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at the Trueflation. So the Trueflation month over month is 6.39 to 5.73. So what did CPI come out at? 6 something?
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, I expect CPI to come down. And then after this month's CPI, we're going to have trouble because Trueflation is basically flat, which is not good. Because then the Fed's going to say, well, we can either pause or keep raising, and we should probably keep raising. But Powell was beating that disinflation train pretty hard in the meeting. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I just get nervous that inflation's not coming down as quick as it was.
The VIX sub 20 spiked all the way to 17 today, apparently.
I don't really know what to think of that. it's every other day it's all over the place.
Yeah. Well, if it gets stuck in the low 20s or lower, then that definitely leads to potential for upside. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, none of that feelings on
this just doesn't scream like, oh, terrible recession ahead.
No. Yeah, the jobs numbers, even though most of those are part-time, like we said, certainly help the Fed think that they should keep going. But then the market's like, well, they already raised 4.25%, 4.5%, whatever it is. What's another 0.5% at this point?
Yeah, I think the market's going to start, taking that into account right away. This would be the only thing that I would point out if you say, hey, I want to get bearish. It would be, can we have a month-long or multi-month-long rally in the Dixie? Maybe set in a larger consolidation, something like this, back to 108, 110. That would definitely have an impact on markets. Or was that the move and now it's just going to set a lower high, and don't get too far ahead of yourselves.
I mean, we could get an inverted Adam and Eve. We made the Adam already. So remember this. Clip this for 6 months from now, and we make the Eve. You're looking for an upside down U.
Yeah, keep in mind where my cursor is here is the end of the year. So, you can spend all year not doing a whole lot. the year of sideways.
Yeah, I don't know. Things look fine. We're waiting on the supply stuff to kick in on ETH. Bitcoin halving next year. Gox coins, Shanghai. I mean, it's all kind of like the same old, same old. There's not really much new going on.
Is the bottom in?
I would think so. That's what I'm trying to think. Like, what could push us to lower lows besides like Binance blowing up? You know?
Yeah.
Who's left to sell? Who's left to do anything? Like, there's no leverage. There's none. There's no credit. There's nothing. Right?
Yeah. It does seem like the bottom might be in. That doesn't mean we can't retest the bottom.
It feels like we're trying to bottom.
Yeah.
For sure.
Trying to
40% month. That's huge. That doesn't seem like a bear market bounce to me. The technicals don't support that anyway.
Do you see NVIDIA?
I haven't, but another inverted head and shoulders, like there's like 4 chart patterns you need to know. Adam and Eve, inverted head and shoulders. What are the other ones? I don't know. Like they happen over and over and over again.
Wedges. Triangles.
Flags. Yeah, stuff like that.
I bought a little bit of NVIDIA, not much, just a little bit at 175, and it just went up only from there. Like just went.
Yeah, I mean, the technicals on this stuff look good. If you were on your deserted island, you'd have no idea that tech is just bleeding jobs all over the place. Look at that inverted head and shoulders. Look at that.
Yeah,
look
they all did the same pattern.
Would you look at that?
Except for Tesla. Tesla just V recovered. Boom, boom.
I don't know about Tesla.
Amazon, you wouldn't look at this and think, oh, it was a huge miss. I mean, it's nothing special, but it doesn't look like it was some kind of gigantic miss.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything's just kind of... People are waiting for earnings to be low or down, and they kind of are, but then the market's like, yeah, whatever. We kind of knew this was going to happen.
This is the kind of thing that I don't think I'd want to own for years. Ever.
That looks like a 2016 crypto altcoin chart or something,
Right. Never outperforms.
There's just no way that thing goes back to those highs. You need your once a century pandemic to get back to those highs.
Yeah. But on the whole, I like the indexes. I'm fine being invested. I'm not saying I'm like begging for massive upside, just fine. I'm fine. That's all I got. I really don't have anything. This is going to be a short episode, Josh.
I mean, something else to watch just in general, debt ceiling stuff, government spending stuff. That $1 trillion infrastructure bill, Biden is also going around talking about that. State of the Union is coming up, next week? This week? Next? I don't remember the date.
Does that matter? It seems like it can't matter.
In the grand scheme of things, no, but, there's going to be talks of debt ceiling in that. There's going to be talks of the infrastructure bill. He's going to be talking about jobs, right? I kind of know what he's going to say, but just as far as things to pay attention to in the periphery.
Yeah.
Reverse repo is another one that basically it's money that's not in the market. So if reverse repos stay high, then you can assume that we are semi-risk off, or rates are just too juicy. Again, these are like kind of esoteric periphery things, but that is like $2 trillion in repo right now.
Yeah. Well, please send Ethereum to $2,500. Thank you. Gets right up here. Just go retest those breakdowns.
Yeah, I like ETH to 2K easy. I like ETH from 2 to 3K after that. Looks good. Everything looks good.
That's all I got.
There's a golden cross on the S&P. There's a golden cross on virtually everything crypto. There's charts that look like sushi where they're like flat, sideways, tight range for months.
Trying to bottom,
even though I think, fundamentally sushi, I wouldn't want to own that coin. I think from a technical perspective, there's a difference between this and Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Based on how long it's spent down here.
I think
Link was another one.
Yeah. Sushi, Unilink, all the big DeFis. Wi-Fi.
What is
Yeah.
Aptos today?
1687. I'm telling you, Aptos topped. Go back to what we said. Just hold strong on that short from 18 to 20 bucks. Enjoy the pair trade. Take the pair trade. APT short APT ETH.
I just don't know who's holding that still. Like if you're long from the bottom, who's still holding that in this economy? You know what I'm saying?
If you're holding this, you are wanting to not hold it. You are trying to figure out how to not hold it.
It's just like such a quick trade for that percentage gain. I don't know.
All right.
I wasn't in it. I can't hate on the holders. So
Congrats to the winners.
Yeah. Congrats.
All right. Let's leave it there. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else either.
Thanks for being here. Just the wrong. No, that's the right one. See you later.
See you later, chat.
Monuments crumble